Peter, can you hear me?
Now I can. Hold on, I wasn't until this moment.
Oh, you didn't hear me. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you, Olayinka. Okay, it was my headset. So again, welcome to the event. We have a few questions here. It's our crypto chat that we are going to be holding each and every second week. When people have questions, they can jump on this call and get their questions answered. And of course, from somebody like yourself, Peter, who is on top of all the cryptocurrency news, what's new and exciting in the market. If you can start by updating us, why are you excited today in May 2022 about cryptocurrency world and blockchain? Please answer this question for us that we see on the screen. The blockchain, can it change the world? And then we'll be answering a few questions from Akash, Alexandra, Rosemary, Yelena, and Jeff. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. Thank you, Peter.
Of course. So yeah, it's always exciting in crypto. Why I would say it's a little bit more exciting now than other times is if we look back a few short months ago, 6 months ago, we were at all-time highs. And people always say, you know what, I wish I could get something for 60% off. Like if you like a pair of shoes that used to cost $200 and now they're $80, it's probably the time to buy them, right? So I don't like to focus on price very much, but this is whether the price comes down even more. So if your shoes that start at $200 are on $80 and they go down on even more of a discount to $60 and you have another color option, it's not get scared. Take advantage of something that's on a black market sale. And if you look how bad a lot of the tech stocks have done recently, we are definitely correlated with the tech stocks. As much as crypto and Bitcoin wants to be like its own asset class and not correlated with what's going on, today in present moment, it is, right? If all the major tech stocks drop, Bitcoin drops as well. But in history, we would drop a lot more than the tech stocks. This is actually the first time that we've had a massive correction in the S&P 500 and the tech stocks specifically, and Bitcoin dropped about the same or even less depending which stock you're looking at. So this is a very special moment that by far are we not discorrelating or are we in our own island yet. But the fact that we're taking it like 5 years ago, if the stock market crashed like this, Bitcoin would drop 75%, no question, maybe 80, right? I think 78 to like 86% is our average drops when we have aggressive drops. So this little correction of 60% from the all-time high or 25% down in the last 10 days seems really bad for people. But for anyone that hasn't bought Bitcoin yet, if you have a few hundred, a few $1,000s, take half that amount and buy some now. And if it drops more, buy the other half with it then. If it goes up, well, take a quarter of it, buy some and see what happens, right? No one has a crystal ball But this is the time for anyone that's been paying attention, and most of the people on this call are familiar faces, right? So if you still have zero Bitcoin right now while you're listening to this, this is the time to find $300, $1,000, $3,000 if you're more wealthy, whatever your number. But go buy some
Peter,
Bitcoin.
what do you think? Peter, what do you think of ShakePay, like as the company to buy them through? Who would you recommend?
I always, from the beginning, always recommend to find a broker or a Bitcoin ATM. The brokers give you better prices, and buy it directly with cash while that's still an option. Let's fast forward 5, 10, 15 years in the future. Canada's already experimenting with the digital dollar. Everything's going to go the way of China. Whether it's going to be dystopian, like controlled like China, or utopic where we have the answers, we are going digital. So you're not going to have the choice to buy anonymous Bitcoin in the near future coming up. Right now, you still can. And you can put it where you want. You can have it anonymous on your own terms. Whereas buying through any platform like that, you're pretty much telling the Canadian government, hey, today on May 11th at 3:44 p.m. at this exact price to the penny, I bought Bitcoin at this amount. And if it does go what we expect in the next 5, 10 years, and Bitcoin's $1 million, they're going to be like, awesome, you bought it at this price, you might have gambled away or lost it. That's going to be you to prove.
Yeah.
Unless you buy it
You're always going to hold a
terms.
portion of whatever it's worth. That's all. That's what it is. Right?
Say
You
it
don't
again?
buy one whole Bitcoin. You buy a portion
No,
of it.
you got to start thinking in Satoshis, right? So, for example, comparing it to real estate, you can buy a whole village north of Thunder Bay for which you can buy one house in Toronto for. But is that village going to get busy, and do you really want that? Or are you better off owning like a 4 condos in Toronto instead of a neighborhood in the middle of nowhere? That's Bitcoin compared to altcoins. So 100 million Satoshis is one Bitcoin. So today you can buy 1 million Satoshis for under $300 US. And you've heard me say many times throughout the last 7 years of me speaking with this organization, you're not going to get a much better buying opportunity than this ever again. Yes, we may go to 25. There's a small chance we go to 20, 15. I tell you, if we go to 20 or 15, wherever silver I have left, wherever designer gear I'm putting on Kijiji, and I'm selling everything I have to get more Bitcoin. And I probably have more Bitcoin than everyone on this call. So if you see a number like 15, 20, 25, that means to me, sell anything that has value and buy Bitcoin. But otherwise, this is the sale. We are in the eye of the sale, right? And it's going to change, and when it drops another 5K and then goes back to 50, or drops 10K and goes to 50, that's where we're going to be at in a matter of months. So this is the time to take action. 10% of the Bitcoin is under $3,000 US right now. That's an amazing deal. We're recording this so we can play it back for you guys a few years later like we always do. But this is the time. Now when people are saying it's going to 200.
Where is Bitcoin at the moment?
29, just under 30. Call it 30,000 USD.
Oh, because I saw
so you can get 10% of a Bitcoin for 3,000, or 1% of a Bitcoin for 300 USD. So for less than 400 Canadian dollars after fees, you can own 1 million Satoshis. And that doesn't sound like much because you don't understand what it means.
And what Satoshis is that?
Satoshis is the smallest unit in Bitcoin.
Oh, Satoshis.
So 100 million Satoshis is one Bitcoin. Or 10 million Satoshis is 10%.
Yeah. I think we need to invest in the Russian ruble. That's what we have.
Sure. Like if you like playing the lottery, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
it's good.
Joke, Arnella, yes. I mean,
right? I wonder if they'll take crypto.
Well, back to keeping it on the financial, where the technology is going, based on asset class allocation of the big institutions in the world, dancing around $1 trillion is not safe enough for them. Once we get to closer to $2 trillion and stay above $1 trillion for 6 months, or preferably a whole calendar year, 4 whole quarters, you're going to see the big money coming in. And no one has a crystal ball. Whether that takes 6 months or 16 months, that is going to start happening. And once that's happened, you're going to look at prices like today, and you're never going to have a chance again the rest of your life buying Bitcoin at this price, unless we lose all technology and the internet goes away and there's no such thing as banks. That is a possibility. But in a reality where society is still functioning, This is your last weeks, months, days to buy Bitcoin as a regular person and actually get 1,000,000 Satoshis. Because when Bitcoin hits the next class where it's going to hit, what's costing you 300 today is going to cost you 3,000. What's costing you 3,000 is going to cost you 30,000 for 10% of a Bitcoin. And we're going to be there in a few short years.
Is that your prediction, Peter?
We don't do price predictions. You got to watch the market, the value of the technology. Like a gentleman you guys can study more in your generation back would be Kevin O'Reilly or Riley or whatever. He talks about market caps, and this is the technology. So you can have your opinion on what it could happen, but it's like saying, you know what? I don't think people are going to use Google anymore. Or I don't think people are going to use Amazon anymore. Sure, you could speculate that, but Bitcoin is in that category now. This is not you taking an educated opinion and a guess. It's here. It's not going anywhere, right? It's here to stay. So for you to argue, oh, maybe people use Amazon less or Google less and it'll go down more in value. Sure. But that's it. It's established. 15 years now. 12 years of economic charts we could study.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay,
Well, I heard that it's going to go up to about 155,000.
Well, that person seems like they're a genius. That person should retire right now and just make everyone wealthy, because anyone that's guaranteeing anything, they're all just opinions, right? We could get an opinion that Netflix could drop to 0 tomorrow, or it could go 10x from here and recover. But does anyone really know? They don't. There's just educated guesses. But based on the technology, what it's doing, and studying other technological similarities of like, okay, the last time we had a technology raised this much in awareness, in users, in growth, in adoption, in technological warehouses, in companies being formed. Study the stats that no longer are we speculating of 7 years ago of, oh, this may or may not be a thing. This is a thing. Go look at the actual numbers and the companies and the people putting into this. This is no longer speculation. This is study the stats and the data.
Yeah.
fantastic. Rosemary, time for questions. Rosemary, what is your question today?
No, I have another question. So for me, I was talking about the cryptocurrency. Yeah. So what I want to know the difference. The last time I think I asked almost the same question. When you have your money in your card, let me take for example, you have 1,000 in your card and you have 5,000 online. Now, if you use the 1,000 in your card, are they going to affect the one is online? Because it happened to me, like something like that.
Did they steal from your wallet?
Yeah, that's the name, the wallet. They have the money on my wallet. So I use that money on the wallet, but when I check online, it's like he reduced the amount I'll put online, the one I didn't touch. I don't know if it's okay.
Wow, I think maybe she's connected with a big high rate company, Peter?
Okay, if I understand the question correctly, if you have a wallet that's linked to your card and you're spending from the card, of course it's going to affect your wallet. If it's separate, then obviously not should be affected.
Yeah. If I spend the money in my wallet, so are they going to affect the one I put on that, the one I have to take the profit?
Is the wallet linked to your card, or is the wallet separate from your card? Is the wallet inside your card, or is the wallet separate from your card?
Yeah, because if I have a benefit, I'm going to put it on my wallet, yeah.
You have to answer my question. Is the wallet connected to your card, or is the wallet separate from your card?
It's separate.
So then it should not, the only thing you're seeing fluctuating with your wallet then, unless you got hacked, is the price going up and down. So Bitcoin was 40,000 10 days ago, and you had 4,000 in value in Bitcoin, and then the market dropped 25%, you would see 3,000 in value. But the Bitcoin number should stay the same. So let's say you had 10% of a Bitcoin in there, right? 0.11 or whatever your number is. That number should stay the same. But the dollar value is always going to change because that's reflecting the price of the market in any given moment.
Okay, you know, since I'm on this business, I just connect by myself. They didn't explain to me very well. Maybe the card is connected and I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. I can't answer that question unless you tell me. I don't know if your card's connected. If it is, then that makes sense.
You know, I'm not very, very sure about that, but maybe it's connected and I don't know. I have to check online. Because
as long as the number of Bitcoin doesn't change, that's what's important. The price does go up and down, and you could make a lot of money one time and then you lose double the next time, but it always fluctuates. So if it is connected, I would think that that's what's happening. So as long you have to look at the number of Bitcoins. It doesn't matter
maybe
about
do the screenshot, Rosemary, and send it to Peter. Maybe do some screenshots. And send it through me to Peter. So we'll keep it confidential and we'll answer your question.
Screenshot of what?
Screenshot of your back office, maybe of your what's actually happening in the back office of your wallet.
From wallet. Okay. I'll send it to you when we finish the meeting.
That will probably clarify things. And Yelena has a question. Yes, Yelena, please.
Hi, Peter. How are you?
Amazing.
What do the big banks and mainstream institutions do things about Bitcoin?
What are the mainstream banks institutions? What is the question? Say it again.
Big banks and mainstream institutions, what do they think about Bitcoin?
Well, it depends on the institution and depends on the bank. Most banks dislike any Bitcoin businesses whatsoever. But Toronto, where we are, there is an ETF based on Bitcoin and Ethereum that actually holds the asset. So if you're into stocks and in the banking system and you're not comfortable learning a new skill that as a business owner you should really know, but for some reason, let's say you say, I don't want to use the internet. Like, let's rewind 20 years. The bank to use the internet on my behalf. So let's say you decide to take that route with Bitcoin. Banks are already happy to go, sure, Elena, we'll take your money and we'll buy Bitcoin on your behalf and take our broker fees. So they're already willing to do that for you. So in the sense of them working with companies, no, they do not like it. They'll shut down any account that works with crypto and not them. But if it comes to you money and you walk into the bank, there'll be some 25-year-old that just got a university that owns 0 Bitcoin and 0 crypto. They probably have no coins, but they'll be the crypto consultant at that branch. And if you choose to give hundreds or thousands of dollars to them, they with a smile will take the fees and put it somewhere.
If you can wait 10 minutes, I'll be with you, okay?
Sorry?
Okay, we got it. So, Elena, it did answer your question, right?
Yes, thank you.
And then for the longer version of the question, it's the big money of them actually holding it on their reserves. We're not there yet. Right now, they're willing to take your money and go buy Bitcoin with it and take their fees, which they're willing to do with anything. They'll do that with silver, gold. You can buy gold and silver yourself physically, or you go to the bank and they'll buy it on your behalf, and there'll be a piece of paper that says you have gold, which may or may not be there, separate card, just like the Bitcoin. When you go to the bank, they say they buy Bitcoin for you. It may or may not be there. They're not going to let you access to their record books to verify. So same thing. And then what I was talking about earlier about what Bitcoin stays over $1 trillion market cap, which means Bitcoin only has to be about 50K and not go down for about a year plus. So Bitcoin goes to, let's say, 155, as our prediction said earlier, and it crashes to 75, and then crashes to 50 for a day, then goes to 80, then 75, then back to 110, and it does that for a whole year plus. You're going to start seeing certain banks and institutions buying it not on behalf of the customer, on behalf of themselves as a reserve asset. And that's when the average person is no longer able to afford 1 million Satoshis like they are today for $300 US.
It makes sense. Helena, does it make sense?
Yes, sure.
Yes, absolutely. Marie Recruit, thank you for joining us. Marie Recruit is our leader in the real estate investment that in the last year got very passionate about cryptocurrency education and crypto investment, and very educated as per your conversation with Peter. Maria, thank you for joining us. Maria Recruit. while Maria is coming into us.
Hi. Sorry, you know what? I apologize. I'm late, but
It's all good. We're just answering questions.
Okay.
It's a Q&A. We are going to do it twice a month. It's a crypto chat. We're just jumping on a call and making sure that if people have questions, if they have new opportunities, they can run it by Peter. So what would be your question for today, Maria?
Not really. I mean, I'm just kind of excited. First of all, my camera's not working, so I apologize, okay? But no, I'm very excited that the market's dipping. I mean, this is the time to buy.
Is it really dipping, really?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah.
And you know what's kind of interesting, Peter? Because I was looking at Luna. I was looking at UST, right, with Terra Luna. I'm surprised that it dropped like 97%, right? So I don't know if you were, of course, that's going to go up again because they're pegging it with Bitcoin that's dropped down a lot too. But on my exchange, and I won't go into detail which exchange it is, for some reason, I can't find, I can find Luna, but I can't find Terra UST anymore. And this is what they put on there. Just listen to this. Sounds pretty, okay, let me just go over here. It says right here at the very top, it says, be advised, withdrawals for Luna have temporarily been halted. The Terra Luna blockchain is experiencing degraded network performance. Block times have increased and validators are reportedly experiencing issues. Please note that this is a global issue and is not isolated. So what are you?
Wow, across the board. So who knows who else is on the call? Like who else is looking at this, and realizing.
So Peter, what are your thoughts on it?
So this has happened with crypto. Like when I got into the space in 2014, early 15, there was only about 30 altcoins.
Yeah.
That's it. I remember we got over 100 altcoins and it was like a hoorah moment, like in crypto. And from those days, there's been network issues with every major blockchain leading from 2000. Every year in my life, there's always been 1, 5, 10, 2 of the top coins that are having some kind of issue. Mm-hmm. So again, this is why this is still like the 90s of the internet. Yes. People like to think that this is the end all be all. We're still building the foundation. Mm-hmm. There's still 1.5%, maybe 2% maximum of the people on the planet that use this technology. We haven't hit the adoption curve yet. So right now, there's going to be network issues. The question is, do you trust the team that's coding behind it? And do you trust the founders to not be scammers and not take advantage of moments like this? So if you have the right protocol, the right team, it's going to get fixed. And yes, the price is going to fluctuate very drastically in all kind of directions because of this, because it's kind of seen as like a negative because it's not doing what it's supposed to, right? But this is just part of crypto life in the beginning stages. Once this is so mainstreamed and streamlined, or there's no issues, well, this is where it becomes like a stock where you could always make money in stocks, but it's not, you miss the original boom. So right now, we're still in the early days of the boom because things like this are still happening.
So would you buy right now or
12
would you
years.
sell?
Sorry?
Would you buy now or would you sell?
Oh, no.
I would definitely not sell. I would definitely buy. And me as somebody that's pretty much all into Bitcoin besides my gold and silver bullion, which is like maybe 10, 15%, 5%. When the market goes up, my bullion's like 5% of my portfolio. When the market's down, my bullion's 10, 50% of my portfolio. But I'll tell you, like I said earlier on the stream, if Bitcoin hits under 20K at 25, I'll stop going to clubs for a week or a month and put a couple $1,000s in. But if Bitcoin drops under 20 to 19, 18, 15, I'm going and selling all my bullion. I don't need any silver, any gold. I'm going to sell it all, put it all into Bitcoin. So that's how I feel about the market right now.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like I started, as I spoke to you earlier this week, I believe, or last week, had a wonderful conversation with you, Peter. I'll have you on my show, of course. But I mean, I started investing in August of last year. And I found it very interesting because September was a lull month, right? So that's when I started to purchase a lot more of Ethereum, Cardano, and Bitcoin. And then it went up to November. Was all-time high, and then it started to go down in December. It's been kind of going down now, but I missed the really low price range of $28,000 last year, because I knew about it, but I didn't know even how to get into an exchange. I didn't know anything. So I've become educated since then. But this is very exciting times that, you know, with especially with all of them, actually, all of them. And Luna, Terra Luna has a very good business plan. The people who run it are very, you know, they're educated. I mean, I did all my research on it, because when I go into purchasing anything, I look at the business plan, just like you were suggesting, Peter. You've got to look at the business plan, see who the founders are, what's their background, right? Should you be investing? Because you're investing in a business, you know? So they have good fundamentals, but I found it strange, Peter, when they started to buy a lot of Bitcoin. That's when I was shocked, because they had a really good system, right? And then they started to buy the Bitcoin. I thought, I wonder why they're doing that. Is it because they no longer really trust the dollar, which nobody does anyways, right?
Well, their dollar, I think, more than anybody's. Other countries are way lower than we are.
Okay.
Anyway,
So what I would say about that is, I think they want to be trendsetters. They're like, think about Michael Saylor, who's a very big advocate about in the mainstream markets about buying Bitcoin. There should be more people diversifying as their reserve asset in crypto should be Bitcoin for the bigger projects. That just makes a lot of sense. So whether that's the right decision financially today may or may not be the case, but what it definitely is setting a trend that is the right trend. So maybe they're early to this trend, but it's not wrong in my opinion.
No, I didn't think
exactly
it was
it. A lot of countries are converting all their money that they have in the country and turning it to Bitcoin right now.
I don't know if they're turning their money. What they're doing is kind of having a dual currency, like El Salvador.
No, I think their whole country is going to be Bitcoin.
Which one? Which country?
Indonesia, El Salvador.
Well, El Salvador, yeah. And now they have another in Africa.
What other one is around there? Haiti. And there was another one.
Never heard of that. I never heard of
I think
that.
Bahamas or Barbados. They want to do the same. There's a lot of countries coming on board, giving up their currency for. That's what I've been noticing anyway.
I haven't read that. And when I attended that conference in Miami, you know, online, they just mentioned El Salvador and then the African nation. Those are the only two. I mean, that's the only two that have said they've gone with having a dual currency.
A few African nations,
Thank you, everybody, for your questions. Maria, thank you for doing all the research. And Svetlana, Veta, you have a question, and we'll close with that.
Okay.
Veta, what is your question?
Yes, hi, guys. Nice seeing you. And Peter, nice talking to you. My question is, after all, in general, how safe is cryptocurrency?
Good question.
So in what sense? In the sense of, is it going to get hacked, the mainstream network? Is your computer going to get hacked for it? Like, give me a bit more specific about what do you mean safe? What's your definition of safe? In what sense?
I would say in a means of investment in a long run.
Well, there's risk to everything, but if you got into Amazon 15 years ago, Amazon went through 80% dips. And when it was going through a dip, you could ask some people's opinion and go, how safe is Amazon? And go, Amazon could fail. Tesla could have failed many times. Tesla went bankrupt a bunch of times, right? The chances of Bitcoin getting bankrupt now in someone that's as passionate as me seems a lot less likely than those big companies, because it's a technology. It's a technology that's bringing a use case to the world every day. And they don't have issues like running out of batteries and not keeping up with quotas of cars that mainstream companies would have. So there's a lot of risk to everything if you think about it like that. But in the sense of that, now we're talking about 13 years of a computing system that hasn't been hacked and has by far the biggest computer by like 100 or 1,000-fold than its competitor. So you take like Microsoft's computing system or the US government's computing system, and Bitcoin's at least 100 to 1,000 times more powerful of a computer network than that. So the chances of that being hacked, zero at this point. 1 in a million that I'm never gonna say everything is possible, but it's like even if you blew up the biggest 10 Bitcoin mines in the world, you're still not going to affect Bitcoin. I guarantee you blow up Amazon's big 5 facilities, Amazon's probably going to go out of business. Same with Google. If you went to Google and the 5, 10 places they have servers around the world, you blew them up, all of a sudden Yahoo or someone else will take over for Google. Even if you blew up the biggest 10 Bitcoin mines in the world right now, Bitcoin has satellites in space. We could literally have an attack on technology around the whole world where all the banks, everything goes away for a day or a week or a month or a year. But the one thing that will come back is Bitcoin because we have satellite antennas through Bluetooth and other technology that are still going to be verifying and updating the blockchain. I don't know how many other technological things on this planet. So when it comes to in the sense of anything could fail, but if we're talking about the likelihood of this technology failing on the main network, is very slim to none.
So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. We had an excellent question. And Akash, I know that you are from a Gen Z generation. What is your question today, Akash?
Hi Peter. First of all, I really appreciate all of your knowledge about cryptocurrency. But I'm a everyday market investor, right? I believe investing in traditional funds more than anything. So, would you suggest me rather than investing some of my portfolio in cryptocurrency? But as you said, the risk is always there. So, how would you rather convince a traditional marketer who believes in long terms, like who buys shares of Apple and Microsoft, to invest in cryptocurrency in the first place?
So what I'm saying is my opinion, like for the people, everyone, this applies to everybody. The best thing you can invest in is yourself. So invest in your mindset, invest in your technological skill set, invest in yourself first. The second best thing on the planet, mathematically, not my opinion, by far has been crypto the last 10 years. Outperformed Apple, gold, S&P 500, anything you name, by like staggering amounts. So if you don't have the balls, I'm sorry to say, to take the risk to invest in this, cool, stay with traditional markets. But I say what you're probably missing is investing in yourself. Invest more in yourself and understanding this technology and what it's doing for the planet. And then you will have a much more confident opinion about Bitcoin as opposed to Apple, Tesla, or whatever stocks you're into.
Okay. And what do you think the potential problem and challenges are with crypto and blockchain as it stands right now?
Sorry, what challenges?
What are the potential problem and challenges with the cryptocurrency and blockchain right now in talking about the current scenario?
The potential problems is the same thing as when credit cards came out or when modern banking came out with email transfers or even just with the CERB in Canada and with the stimulus checks in the States. There's so much fraud in crypto, but that's not on the main networks. It's not like people are frauding the Bitcoin blockchain or they're frauding things on Terra Luna's chain or Ethereum's chain. They're making other platforms, in some cases, have nothing to do with Bitcoin. They're just pretending they're buying Bitcoin. So the biggest issue, which is by no means going to stop the technology, that's going to have a lot of people that probably can't afford to lose. The people that are getting frauded are the people that need the money the most. The people who are already well financially off, they wouldn't put in an investment without putting in 10, 100 hours of research. It's the people that put in 10 minutes to 1 hour, get excited off an Instagram message they got or some YouTube video they watched for literally 20 minutes and they did no other research, and those are the people being taken advantage of. So it's going to be sad in the next 3 to 12 years while we roll out this full adoption. There's going to be a lot of fraud involved. But that's happened with every technology. And if anything, the biggest fraud in the world happens to this day with cash still. So by that means, maybe you shouldn't use cash or nothing. You should probably grow your own food and live in a village somewhere where you're just like self-isolated and then no one can get you. But if you're going to use modern technology, there's going to be issues of other people taking advantage. But that actually has nothing to do with the core technological layer of what's happening in the ecosystem.
Excellent. We're going to be closing. Thank you, Peter, so much. We'll see everyone in 2 weeks from now, the same time, the same place. And Jeff, did you want to share anything? You have any questions? Or you want to share hugs and smiles and love with everybody.
You're right. I have one question. If someone, let's say you come across someone you have great faith in, who's actually a day trader, and he says, you know, Bitcoin's great, but there's no substance there. Like if you were compared to something like gold or something. So he says there's no substance to Bitcoin. How would you react?
So the two substances, if you want a physical substance, it's a bunch of computers. Google Bitcoin mining, and there's warehouses filled all around the world. It's the leader in the world of setting up renewable energy sources. The last mines that have been set up in the last 5 years, there's been more renewable energy mines set up than traditional electricity forms. So that's the physical component. Now, the other component would be the fact that right now you could put a QR code to the screen and I could send you 10 cents or $10 million and you'll get it instantly. And if that's not a use case, I don't know what is.
Good, thank you.
Thank you. Fantastic question.
Very true.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you, everybody. Olainka, do you have any questions? We all good. It was recorded. I'll share on social media so people can learn a few things. And thank you for supporting the beautiful world of cryptocurrency. And
Thank you, Peter.
we'll say that indeed the blockchain can change the world.
Yes,
So thank you so much, Arnella. Thank you, Olainka, and thank you, everybody. Thank you, Maria, so much. Alexandra, we'll see you next time. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.